And tonight on WTOP-10 Nightly News, Governor Kathy Hochul expands abortion care to students.
And Mayor Billy Barlow joins Dr. Mary C. Toll at the Oswego Town Hall.
And the emergence of AI art leaves some on campus excited and concerned for the future of art.
WTOP-10 Nightly News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to WTOP-10 Nightly News. I'm Jacquelyn Driggs.
And I'm Scott Brubaker.
Governor Kathy Hochul is solidifying New York State as a safe harbor state after signing legislation earlier today that will expand access to reproductive health care across the state. The legislation expands access to hormonal contraception by making it available over the counter. This is particularly helpful for marginalized populations who may not have a primary care provider, but do have access to a local pharmacy.
Additionally, Governor Hochul signed legislation to ensure that every student enrolled in a SUNY or CUNY college has access to medication abortion on campus. SUNY and CUNY schools are now required to employ or contract with authorized individuals who may prescribe abortion prescription drugs, or by providing students with information and referrals to an authorized provider. Hochul is praising the legislation, saying that it is important for students to have the right to choose.
Students will be able to seek out, and receive medication abortion on all the campuses. And for hundreds of thousands of young New Yorkers, this legislation will make the difference between an unwanted pregnancy and a future where they can decide what they want to do.
SUNY Chancellor John King is also praising the new legislation, saying that students' health and wellness is paramount, and it is important for students to be aware of the resources available to them.
The Mary Walker Health Center on campus already does offer preventative devices and contraceptives for a low to no cost. They are open from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday.
At 3 p.m. today, the Department of Agriculture partnered with the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation and released a large number of fish into the Oswego Harbor. The Oswego City Police Department released a Twitter post today in regards to the loud noises that will be heard due to having to ward off flocks of birds in the area. The Oswego Police predicts that this project will last up to 3 days.
Students, professors, and members of the community gathered at the town hall in Oswego to celebrate the growing relationship between the community and the university. At the town hall, there were multiple exhibits displaying the work that SUNY Oswego members have done within the community, reinforcing that the community and the university need one another.
But you know, at the end of the day, SUNY needs the city, and the city most certainly, I know firsthand better than anyone, needs SUNY and the faculty and the students that exist out at SUNY as in here and part of our community. So it's important that we kind of feed off each other, complement each other, and then co-host events like this so that the two communities really do come together as one.
The event was put on by the Campus City Relations Committee. The group is appointed by the mayor but works closely with the campus to help SUNY Oswego students engage with the community.
Last Day at Dave's is a newly written play by Oswego theater students under the guidance and teachings of Chris Eli Black. Black has taught students in both the theater department as well as the English and Creative Writing department. The play will make its debut Wednesday, May 3rd at 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. in the Tyler Hall Lab Theater, room 46. You can find more information on the SUNY Oswego website under News and Events. We keep hearing about artificial intelligence, writing papers and poems, but what about creating the next great work of art?
Artificial intelligence artwork is widespread, and while some are excited, others are concerned. Our Thomas Cafarella is asking those close to home.
It's as easy as, and the computer does the rest. For some, this could be concerning, but interaction design major Olivia Brea is embracing the change.
I am excited about it. It seems fun, something to prototype with.
Something that is fun for now, but may negatively impact students entering the workforce.
I'm concerned at which level they might rely on AI art to create assets for their projects.
Some professors are asking if AI-generated artwork can even be considered art.
It is not art, in my opinion. There has to be expression. There has to be either some form of self-discovery or self-expression that happens through the act of creating. In my mind, it's the act of creating that is the piece of art.
Artificial art programs aid students with the use of thousands of pictures across the internet to curate the perfect picture upon request.
My art skills may not be as good as others, but thanks to AI art, I don't have to be an amazing artist to create amazing pieces of artwork. However, with this new profound freedom comes rising concerns over legality of using artificial intelligence artwork.
AI generators today, many of them are using copywritten images to produce their end results. A lot of the times that image might be owned by someone.
Despite the wave of artificial art sweeping across the internet, there will be no total replacement of humans for robots anytime soon.
Just compositionally, you're always going to need the human eye when developing any sort of design layout.
At this point, I have zero concern for artwork being replaced with artificially created pieces.
No concern for now, but in the future, AI may have us asking the age-old question, what is art? Thomas Cafarella, Oswego Now.
Your favorite TV show and movies could soon be on hold. More than 11,000 members of the Writers Guild of America are going on strike for the first time since 2007. The strike was officially called after the union failed to reach an agreement with industry officials last night. Several late-night shows are now planning to air repeats to support their writers, and if the strike goes on, it could also affect the release of new shows later this summer.
Thousands of low-income New Yorkers were denied necessary dental treatment until now. Prior to, New York Medicaid rules stated that having only 8 teeth was adequate, and the remaining teeth were not covered for root canals and crowns, resulting in many teeth being pulled. After a class action suit, the New York Department of Health will expand Medicaid coverage of dental care, including dental implants, crowns, replacement dentures, and root canals.
A Penske rental box truck hit the bridge on the Onondaga Lake Parkway, but was able to exit from underneath the bridge with only some damage to the top of the truck. Anyone with a driver's license can rent and drive a non-CDL vehicle, and is up to the driver to follow the signs and rules of the road. The driver of the truck was issued 14 tickets, 1 for driving over the height limit and 13 for disobeying a traffic control device.
And now let's take a quick look at the weather with Storm Team 10 meteorologist Brianna Saunders.
Taking a quick look at our Hart Hall camera from about like an hour or two ago, we can see it's been pretty cloudy. If you've been on campus the last couple of days, you would know the rain has been sticking around. It's been very annoying trying to go to classes and push through the end of the semester. I personally have been burning out. I'm sure all of you are too, and the rain does not help with that. It makes you sad, it makes you more tired, but there might be a bright side to this. We might see a light at the end of the tunnel heading into our weekend. As the rain might be going away, we might have some sunshine returning, maybe even higher temperatures. I have more on my full forecast. Now back to you guys at the desk.
And coming up later tonight, shootings have occurred in 2 U.S. cities today.
And tension in the Israel and Palestine conflict are increasing.
Say, President Stanley, whenever there's bad weather, who would you turn to?
I'd turn to Storm Team 10.
No, but you've got to say it like this. Storm Team 10. Say it with me. Storm Team 10.
Roll it.
Jill
Should we
told me it
tell
was
him?
Kitty from Glee. Yeah, what is it?
It's Al Roker. Welcome back. I'm your Storm Team 10 meteorologist, Brianna Saunders, taking a look at the weather on this day back in May 2nd on 1917. I know that's a really long time ago, but the high in downtown Kansas City was a chilly 48 degrees, and that was actually the third coolest day of May, with the record average temperature of around 58.8 degrees. This reminded me of Oswego a little bit since we're in the 40s right now currently, and we're going to stick in the 40s for like the next 2 to 3 days. It's going to be pretty chilly. As you're heading off to bed, you might notice those temperatures when you have to bring that heavier blanket to bed. You might even be turning on that heat tonight as the feel likes are around even 39 degrees. I know. And heading to class tomorrow, you're going to want to bring a hot coffee with you, as it's going to be too chilly for the iced coffees yet. And heading into our out-the-door forecast, as you can see, we have those temperatures sticking in the lower 40s. It's not really going to change much throughout the day. We have a peak of around 43 around 5 p.m. We're expecting the showers to continue throughout the day, and the temperatures will be pretty chilly. So taking that into account, you might expect the pollen count to decrease a little bit as we're having the rain sticking in our area. The tree pollen, sadly, will still be high. I know. I'm upset over that too because I personally have allergies. I know a lot of you do too, and they've been really acting up the last couple of days. Sadly, the tree pollen's still going to be here, but our weeds and grass pollen and mold will be lower, so you might feel some relief tomorrow. And taking a look at our 7-day forecast, you can see we have a high around 45 or around 41 on Wednesday. As I said, the rain showers are going to stick around. Heading into Thursday, the rain showers finally move out of our area, heading into the late night hours. And going into Friday, we see those temperatures start to increase, hitting the mid-50s to upper 50s on Saturday. The sun finally returns. I know we haven't seen it in a while here, but it's finally coming back. Heading into Sunday, that's, I think, the nicest day to make some weekend plans outside if you're planning on doing it. Have a high around 61. It's going to be sunny throughout the entire day. Heading into next week, we stick in those 60s with the temperatures finally rising and continuing to rise for the rest of the season. Now that's it for my full forecast. Now back to you guys at the desk.
A suspect is in custody after a shooting, an alleged fired shot at a local TV station in Memphis. Police say the man fired one round at the building that houses Fox affiliate WHBQ and then ran into a nearby restaurant. The man gave himself up after 2 hours of hiding in the restaurant. Police are still unclear why the man fired at the TV station, but fortunately, no one was hurt.
And unfortunately, that was not the only shooting today. Police are investigating a shooting in a Walmart in Fort Lauderdale earlier today. Police say one person was shot multiple times inside the store and was airlifted to a local hospital. The shooter got away on a scooter after the shooting, but they do have someone in custody who matches the description of the alleged shooter.
They are preparing when the CDC's Title 42 pandemic order is set to end. An influx of refugees has begun living around a downtown church, preparing for when the movement at a southern border is no longer restricted.
Here at Sacred Heart Church, hundreds of migrants have been filling the walkways around it. Some tell me they have been here for days, eating, sleeping, and waiting. For now, it takes staying here until we can fix our papers, our documents, to be able to travel to our destination. It could be 2-3 days, or a week, or more. Some say they have been here for days, enduring poor living conditions. It's difficult to live on the street because it's very cold. Right now, we can't even sleep because it's too hot. We sleep on the street, on the floor. To get to the borderland, some say they surrendered to Border Patrol. Others say they crossed through a hole in the fence. We are confronted by a lot of obstacles because most of us have tried to do things legally. But the CBP One app is not working, so some have opted to pass through the holes. ABC7 asked Border Patrol what their operations and regulations are for migrants congregating at the church. and they replied in part with this statement. CBP is responsible for securing the U.S. border between ports of entry, uses a layered approach that includes patrolling the border itself, nearby areas and neighborhoods, and conducting checkpoints, both stationary and temporary, end quote. They added agents conduct enforcement actions in accordance with DHS policy. However, there are protected areas that Border Patrol agents will have limited enforcement access. Some of those include schools, churches, and medical facilities. Still, they say when agents encounter a non-citizen migrant without proof they have entered the country illegally, they will be detained and processed. Some migrants tell me they intend to stay here until their application process for asylum is complete. They tell me they plan to leave El Paso and move elsewhere. For now, reporting in front of Sacred Heart Church, Brianna Perez, ABC 7.
And El Paso County has been declared in a state of emergency due to the influx in migrants that is expected, and an estimated 35,000 asylum seekers wait at the border in hopes of crossing into the U.S.
91 more Americans have arrived in the Saudi port city Jeddah from Port Sudan. They disembarked from a Saudi Royal Navy ship Tuesday evening that had 206 people on board, including local U.S. Embassy staff. A statement said Saudi Arabia has so far evacuated 5,629 people since the conflict began in Sudan. This is the 15th Saudi ship to arrive in Jeddah since the start of the conflict, according to Saudi authorities.
Qadir Adnan, a Palestine man with the militant group Islamic Jihad, has died in an Israel prison after an 87-day hunger strike. Israel says Adnan refused medical treatment and was found dead in his cell early Tuesday. In response, a general strike has been announced in the West Bank Tuesday to mourn his death. Adnan was accused of supporting terror and had been detained nearly a dozen times by Israel, staging 5 hunger strikes over the past years.
And coming up on WTOP-10, Uber is staying afloat amidst the chaos that surrounds it.
We'll have more in your Health and Consumer Report.
Class of 76, yes, way back in 76. Back when the Earth was cooling. You're watching WTOP.
The Kind of Late Show with Chloe and Anna. Like licorice, Twizzlers, absolutely nasty. The thought of turkey is just nauseating.
I think you're wrong, is what I think.
You think I'm wrong a lot of time.
I do think you're wrong a lot.
When you look at the number of disasters in the U.S., chances are every area will deal with some kind of emergency in the next decade. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
I guess I have really been looking for love in this dating app. Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
And welcome back to WTOP-10 Nightly News. Some U.S. senators are reviving a bill that would require safety features for social media. The kids' online safety would police particular types of harmful content. Companies like Meta, Google, and Twitter would be responsible to create a safe environment for the youth, targeting content related to bullying, eating disorders, and substance abuse. The platforms would also be required to implement time-based restrictions for users under 17 years old.
Job openings have tumbled to their lowest point in nearly 2 years. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, job openings totaled 9.5 million in March. That's down nearly 10 million reported in February. It's also less than economists were expecting. Experts say this tumble is a reflection of a labor market that is settling back into balance after the Federal Reserve's year-long campaign to cool inflation. And Uber has stated that they have navigated the pandemic better than their biggest competitor, Lyft, by increasing their meal and grocery deliveries. Uber's revenue has risen 29% since March of 2020, and Uber's tips have also grown 24% since last March. Their overall revenue for the first quarter of 2023 was $8.8 billion. Lyft will be reporting their quarterly earnings this coming Thursday, while undergoing a large number of layoffs.
Nearly 800,000 people suffer from a stroke in the United States every year, and many do not know the subtle signs to look out for. Mandy Gaither has more.
Critical care.
Early treatment is better in all cases.
Dr. Andrew Russman, medical director of Cleveland Clinic's Comprehensive Stroke Center, says many may not even know they're having a stroke, missing the subtle signs. Knowing the words "be fast" is a simple way to remember how to spot a stroke. B is for balance. Is the person suddenly having trouble with balance or coordination? E, eyes. Do they have blurred or double vision or sudden loss of vision in one or both eyes without pain? F, face drooping. Does one side droop or is it numb? To answer that question, ask the person to smile. A, arm weakness. A weak or numb arm or leg can be a symptom. Ask the person to raise both arms and watch for whether one drifts downward. S, speech difficulty. Ask the person to repeat a simple sentence. Watch for slurring or if the words are hard to understand. And T, time. If a person is having any of these symptoms, call 911 immediately.
This is not a situation when you're having those symptoms that you want to drive yourself to the emergency department or drive a loved one. You got to call 911 and get the care you need from the experts in the emergency department.
Recent research also finds stroke is happening more often in younger people.
It's critically important that people of all ages recognize that stroke can happen to them.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Some factors that may also put you in higher risk of a stroke are high blood pressure, elevated cholesterol, smoking, obesity, and diabetes. And coming up in sports, we have Thomas Turgeon tonight.
All right, Turge, can you give us the latest?
Of course I can. Thanks, guys. Coming up, we will take a preview into some SUNYAC playoff action and down to New York City for some playoff action there as well. It's Sports Playoff Roulette Edition after the break. Don't read. Moderate.
Slightly faster.
Fair enough.
Read slightly faster.
Copy. Oh shit, I completely forgot to put my FB in. Talk? Wants me to talk? Okay, am I still good? Do I? All right. Why do I have to keep talking? I don't even know why. What the hell? You gotta fix my mic? All right, that's cool. Either way, can you keep hearing?
What's going on?
Yeah, dude, we go on at like 11:30. It's like
No.
What do you mean no?
It's 10:30.
10:30?
Matt, it's 10:30.
What do you mean it's 10:30?
Hey, don't touch that. That's my ladder.
Hey, man.
Whoa.
You know this book was already discounted 10%?
Wow. Get a close up of that one.
Matthew, news.
Look at that.
Can we go back inside? I want to sleep in the studio again.
Welcome back to WTOP-10 Nightly News. I'm Thomas Turgeon with your Tuesday night sports report. We start things off with some women's lacrosse action as the SUNYAC semifinals are underway tomorrow night, as Oswego, as the number 3 seed, will take on the number 2 seed Geneseo Knights on the road. Oswego would play Geneseo earlier in the year, but was unable to create a last-minute comeback and fall 13-8. Geneseo has won the last 6 and will look to make it 7 to punch their ticket to the SUNYAC championship on Saturday. We stick with the SUNYAC and the lacrosse sticks as well, because the Oswego State men's lacrosse team is also in action tomorrow, where they will take I-81 route down to the Dragon's Den in Cortland in the SUNYAC semifinal. Oswego has never beaten Cortland before, and including a most recent loss by 17 goals. The Lakers will look to pull off one of the biggest upsets in program history tomorrow night down at the SUNY Cortland Stadium complex. Taking a trip to Salt City, where the Syracuse Mets will open up their 6-game series against the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs tonight at MBT Stadium for Taco Tuesday night. Syracuse currently sits in 4th place with 3 games ahead of the Iron Pigs in the IL East standings. First pitch is scheduled for 6:35 p.m. down in Cuse, with Ranger Suarez on the mound for the Pigs and Humberto Mija for the Mets. Well, we'll take our sports trip down south in New York, where the Knicks and the Heat will kick off Game 2 for the NBA Eastern Conference semifinals down at MSG. Miami would take Game 1 being led by Jimmy Butler with 25 points and 11 boards. However, Butler's status for Game 2 remains in question due to a lower body injury. New York looks to even the series before heading down to South Beach tonight at 7 p.m. before Game 3 on Saturday. And we'll take a trip over across the Hudson River down to the Prudential Center, where the New Jersey Devils are in action. We'll go late first period. New York Rangers on the power play. Panarin to Fox to Mika Zibanejad, but Akira Schmid with the save to keep things going. Midway second, Devils on the penalty kill. It's Palat with the takeaway. Michael McLeod with 1 goal on the New Jersey power play, and we'll go with New Jersey taking the lead. Late second, John Marino with the dangles. Thomas Tatar able to tap it in, and New Jersey up 2-0. It's tuna time down in Newark. 14:25 remaining. It's the Devils getting the job done. 2-0 would be your 4-0 would be your final, as the Devils would be able to get rid of the Rangers in 7 games.
And that's a report for tonight. Be sure to stay tuned for Off the Clock.
Thank you for watching. Have a great night, everyone.
I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
We're here for you, we're here for you. This is your channel 2. With sports and news and what to do, we're here for you. It's your TV, you're watching WTOP. Your TV, thanks for watching WTOP.
La 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 la. Free. La 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 la. La 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 la. Free.